great honor to sit with you and be recorded. And so what we were hoping is we want to take the stories back home to the APS to share with people there. And so maybe you could just start off by telling us the story of the wampum and the history and you know what you were thinking by giving him as a gift to the APS.
Well, wampum, as you know, has a long history among our people, all of our people, as a way of recording agreements, sending messages back to one another. And so it's a very important part of Haudenosaunee culture because it represents a living memory. And we kind of believe the wampum beads actually capture the words spoken to it. And so for generations we use these bells. So when we knew we were going to make an agreement with the American Philosophical Society, we wanted to pick a design that would symbolize that agreement. And I knew of this original belt was down in Philadelphia, so I thought it would be appropriate to take a look at that. It's a covenant chain belt. This square at either end represents the two parties that are making an agreement. The pathway that connects them represents a commitment to have open, honest communications between us, safe passage as we go from your fire or your home to our fire, our home here. And I believe that's what the dark thing in the center represents, is our knowledge in our house and your knowledge in your house. And we're connecting these two houses together. The other thing I like about the design is that the center strip goes off either end. So your house is connected to other archives and other universities. Our house is then connected to all the Haudenosaunee communities and I dare say the other indigenous communities. So to me it really is a great symbol of unity, of a commitment towards one another. And like the old covenant chain idea, we have to make sure that path is always clear. If things begin to interrupt it, we would polish that chain or knock that dust off the wampum belt, which means that we won't let anything stand in the way of us having an ongoing friendship.
And you were telling me earlier about the symbol of the beaver tail?
In one wampum belt where there's a rectangle in the center, a purple rectangle, they say it represents a beaver tail, that we're supposed to gather together from a common dish and eat this beaver tail, which is one of the most nutritious foods that we can get. And what it really symbolizes is that we're not going to fight over what nature provides for us. So we're going to share the land, share the bounty of the land, and that we gather together around that. In so many ways, Sir William Johnson in the old days said, I'm going to create a dish in my fort. So when you come to my fort, we're going to take care of you. And that same concept was there when the Founding Fathers gathered in Philadelphia. So we're going to create a dish here for the native delegates that come, because you know, many came there, which meant we'll take care of you while we're here. And this is why you'll notice in a lot of treaties it always references to hunting lands will still always remain open. Even if we gave a concession of land, we always reserve the right to hunt there. Well, it doesn't mean I can come to downtown Philadelphia hunting, but it does mean that when I come down there, I expect to be fed from the dish.
And does the belt, you were telling us earlier, the belt relates to a safe passage?
This original belt was made between, I think, the Oneidas and the Mohegans, and it was about this Protestant missionary. And the Oneidas is saying, this man is coming to your territory, and this belt shows that he's coming on our behalf or with a good message. So keep the path clear. Let him come to your village and share his knowledge. So that way, this symbol of that is you coming here. You're guaranteed safe passage. We greet, we talk. We don't have to always agree on everything, but we're going to be respectful. And when I travel down to your territory, we do the same thing. So think of that as that pathway that connects the American Philosophical Society to Six Nations Polytechnic. And we're going to renew and strengthen that path. The more that we do together, the more programs that we do, the more cooperative relationships we have, that path becomes very strong. With the ideal that it would last for many generations. So think about way off into the future someday, somebody at APS is going to say, what's the story of this belt? What does it represent? And if we create a strong foundation, it'll be part of the ongoing work there. And the same way as here, that the APS will be remembered fondly by the people of Six Nations because of the contributions you're doing to the Indigenous Knowledge Center, as well as the information fuels our identity and it kind of helps us get a better sense of who our ancestors were and what their hopes for us were. So sometimes you don't think about one little piece of paper with some words on it can be so meaningful to a community.